Hello guys, welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we're back here with another anime review. This one is one that just finished up airing, and it is Isekai Quartet. I'm here by myself this time, as normal, and as you can see, there's gameplay in the background. But I wanted to just do a quick review of Isekai Quartet and kind of get this out there as quickly as I can, because honestly I really liked it and I want other people to understand what it's about. So hopping right into it, it is basically a chibi version. Yeah, it's an isekai with 4 isekais, if that makes sense. So you've got the Saga of Tanya the Evil, Overlord, Konosuba, and ReZero. All of the main characters, they're like major characters from all of those shows, right? Get transported into a world where they are treated as students, right? So you have the denizens of the Tomb of Nazarick from Overlord. You have Major Tanya de Gurachov and her subordinates from the Saga of Tanya the Evil. You have the little group from Konosuba, those 4, Kazuma, Aqua, Darkness, and Megami. And then you have Emilia, Rem, Ram, Subaru, and Beatrice from ReZero. All of them get transported into another world to live out as students. And so, as you can imagine, it gets kind of ridiculous, seeing as how some of them have magic, some of them are really overpowered in their other worlds, some of them are incredibly lucky, some of them, like, all of these different things. And it's very funny to see their interactions and stuff like that. Now, when I say it's chibi, it's not really chibi. It's more just like those. It's like a Flash cartoon kind of style. Kind of. It's a mix between chibi and like the Flash animation style, and it's really fun. I don't know what style exactly that's called, but a lot of other shows do that as well, for like their kind of like spin-off, more getting to know the character kind of thing, the characters, right? Like the Pleiades with Overlord. That's the only other one I can think of at the moment, but. Moving on from that, we have a lot of really entertaining moments between a bunch of different characters as they all figure out that they've all been isekai'd and stuff like that. Like the 4 main characters, Kazuma, Subaru, Momonga, and Tanya, they all figure out that they've all been isekai'd before, and like their new world is that they had just been transported to, the school world, is another like isekai layer on top of that. There is a dub for this as well, which I found to be pretty entertaining, but not great. I just found that the interactions between the characters felt much better in Japanese than it did in English for me. That may just be personal bias because I watched most of the shows in Japanese rather than in English, so that was one thing. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, no, I watched most of the shows in Japanese. Anyway, that being said, there are a ton of references and like jokes about each person's individual world. Like one of my favorite jokes was like some crazy stuff goes down between Subaru, Momonga, and Tanya. And by the end of it, Momonga just looks at Subaru, who seems unfazed, and is just like, man, I wonder what kind of crap he goes through in his world to seem unfazed by this. Obviously, that's not exactly what he says, but it was so funny to be like, yeah, dude, you have no idea what Subaru actually goes through. Because ReZero is basically just like, it's just suffering for Subaru. And so it was really entertaining to, like, to hear all these different jokes and, like, how all these different people don't understand you know, their counterparts, right? Like, Momonga doesn't quite understand Subaru, and Subaru doesn't quite understand Kazuma, and Kazuma doesn't understand Tanya, and Tanya doesn't understand Momonga, and all these different things. And but that being said, they're all still stuck in the same area, or in the same situation, living out their lives, and it was really entertaining to watch and really funny. That being said, if I started watching it having only seen 3 of the 4 animes. I had watched Overlord, ReZero, and Konosuba, and it was still incredibly entertaining. That being said, once I had watched the last Isekai in the Saga of Tanya the Evil, which I have already done a review on this channel. If you want to check it out, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. Anyway, self-promotion aside, I had already watched 3 of them, and when I watched the 4th, it just made everything so much more entertaining and so much more enjoyable because I was able to understand all of the references and get all of the jokes. So whenever there was a moment when Tanya decided to train Kazuma, and all of the people that had been transported with Tanya all pulled out shovels immediately, and everyone else was really confused, but knowing, like, having seen the show, I understood that reference, and it made it like 10 times better. So I would say, if you really like Isekai, all of these shows that were introduced and that were added to the show were really good and really entertaining, and so it was super enjoyable to kind of have something to watch in between those episodes, right? So, like, I watched Tanya the Evil in between, the Saga of Tanya the Evil, in between the other episodes, because they were coming out weekly when I was watching them. Now it's all out, and you can just binge it, and it's hilarious. It is, I want to say it's the funniest show I've seen, but that is simply because I know all the references, and so it made it far more enjoyable. So I wouldn't say that it is the best or the most entertaining or the funniest or anything like that. It was just because I understood everything, it heightened my experience. So overall, I've really enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it. It was a really entertaining isekai. It was super fun, and not much else to say about it there. I did want to mention real quick that this was season 1 of Isekai Quartet. They have already greenlit a second season, and they even hinted that new characters would be added in the second season. Now, most people are saying it's most likely going to be that time I was reincarnated as a slime, so Rimuru Tempest and his crew, and Shield Hero, so Naofumi Iwatani and his crew would most likely be joining. So the Rising of the Shield Hero and that time I was reincarnated as a slime. That being said, I'm not certain about any of that, but if you do enjoy other isekais, there is a chance that some of those characters will be joining in the second season. So overall, if you enjoy isekai much like I do, this is an amazing show for you. If you haven't quite watched all of these shows, I would highly recommend all of them. ReZero, Konosuba, Overlord, and the Saga of Tanya the Evil are all really high on my list. I think the first 3 that I mentioned are all in my top 10 of anime that I've watched of all time. So, highly, highly recommend this this show and all of the other ones as well, just because they are super entertaining. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. If you guys did indeed enjoy, just be sure to drop a like down below. And if you want to see more content like this, just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And oh, I forgot to mention, my score that I would give it is, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It is so funny. But I'd only give it a 10 out of 10 after watching all 4 of the other shows. So it was great for me, and I loved it. And like the chibi art style, the chibi art style really helped amplify like the cartoonish nature of some of these characters, and like some of the actions that they did. So I loved it. It's not for everyone, obviously, because there are 4 prerequisite shows. I can't speak. Prerequisite shows that you kind of need to watch prior to watching this one. But that being said, it was still thoroughly entertaining. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.